Hi, so my country is Mozambique, and the questions that I answered was why does Mozambique have the worst AIDS rates of infection, and what have they done to reduce this rate? So before I start on this, Mozambique is located in southeastern Africa, between South Africa and Tanzania. It is the 35th largest country in the world, by the area being 799,380 kilometers squared. And if we compare this size to California, Mozambique is slightly less than twice the size of California. It has a population of 24,096,669 people, and 99.66% of them are Africans, 0.06% of them are Europeans, 0.2% of them are Euro-Africans, and 0.08% of them are Indians. Their official language is Portuguese because they were ruled by Portuguese until they gained their independence from Portugal in 1975. They abandoned Marxism and has multi-party republic. Their country is divided into 10 provinces, and their economy is free market economy. Mozambique was one of the poorest countries in the world in 1975, but donor assistance and political stability led to improvements in the country's growth rate. And now Mozambique has been growing at an average annual rate of 6 to 8%, and their GDP per capita is $1,200. So why does Mozambique have the worst AIDS rates of infection? So for the people who don't know what is going on in Mozambique right now, here are some background information. First case of HIV and AIDS was recognized in 1986 in Mozambique. Since then, there was a steady increase in the prevalence rate up to 16.2% when the government declared HIV and AIDS as a national emergency in July 2004. AIDS in Mozambique reduced their life expectancy from 41 to 38.1, and found out that 500 new infections occur every day, and 90 of them happen to young children through mother-to-child transmission, for example, through breastfeeding. HIV and AIDS is definitely one of the leading causes of deaths, especially to girls and young women who are particularly vulnerable to HIV and AIDS because women's prevalence rate is 3 times higher than young men or boys and young men. Currently, 95,000 teenagers are living with HIV. 16,200 children under the age of 5 have died as a consequence of AIDS. 25% of adults died because of AIDS. That also leads to an increasing number of orphans in Mozambique. So far, 325,000 orphans out of 1,600,000 orphans have lost their parents due to AIDS, and this number has been constantly increasing. Orphans are also especially vulnerable to HIV and AIDS due to lack of adult care and support. And in most cases, children have to drop out from school to work, and during this process, many of the girls have been forced into the sex industry. This was the background information, and my thesis is Mozambique has the worst AIDS rate of infection because of poor health services and lack of women's rights. Even though 1.4 million Mozambicans are HIV positive and 650,000 people are in need of treatment, only 250,000 people have access to this treatment due to poor availability of health care and lack of medical staff, which makes them harder to decrease the prevalence rate because they know that they're HIV positive, but they can't do anything about it. In addition, the tests that they take to find out that they are HIV positive are less accurate and takes about 2 months for them to get the results back. In addition, due to unequal social power, women often have no chance to refuse unsafe sex and has no right to choose your partner, which also shows the lack of women's right in Mozambique, when men choose to have multiple sex encounter at an early age due to peer pressure. And according to one of the websites, women in Mozambique believe that they don't have right to refuse sex, or they do not recognize forced sex as an abuse, which even increases the rate of AIDS infection. Many women have also been forced to have sex with others for money, and these kinds of unprotected sex increase the infection rate of HIV and AIDS. This can be also seen in TT province, which is located in the northern part of Mozambique. Many people end up in prostitution or criminality when they end up being unemployed there. Mozambique currently has 4 medical doctors and 39 nurses per 100,000 people, and Mozambicans' risky lifestyle by having multiple sexual partnerships and low condom use challenge their prevention of HIV and AIDS. So what have they done to decrease this rate? In order to prevent the prevalence rate from increasing, Mozambicans have been meeting up with MSF, also known as Doctors Without Borders consultant, in order to recognize their problems. MSF has been setting up a training program for nurses, and are trying to get new equipment that will allow them to get results back in an hour instead of 2 months. The National Institution of Health has also been doing preliminary work on vaccination against HIV with other institutions in Tanzania, Sweden, and the US. The Ministry of Health is planning on to improve the quality of services offered to pregnant women and offer HIV prevention activities to children between the ages of 10 to 14. So to sum up, Mozambique has the worst HIV and AIDS rate of infection because of poor health services and lack of women's rights. And they were trying many different things to decrease this infection rate. Thank you.